Want to withdraw it, take your card and go to the ATM and make your withdrawal of new notes. And of course, the ATM cannot give you old notes.
Also, the CBN's Deputy Director of Strategy Management Department, Emenike Elionu, says commercial banks in Port Harcourt have enough new notes to dispense to customers. He said about 5 billion new Naira notes have been sent to River State for the banks to load into their ATMs. He said the CBN has set up measures to monitor the activities of banks to ensure that there is no hoarding of the new notes. He spoke on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire.
We've given them enough for them to carry out ATM operations. The directive was that they should put them in the ATM machines and not pay them over the counter. These spot check exercises that were being carried out, I can say for certain, with the branch controller monitoring what was happening in River State, and we paid surprise visits to banks to find out what we pushed about 5 billion naira into Port Harcourt last week, and that was distributed amongst the banks, and we expected to see these things in the ATM. Only few banks complied. Most of them kept that money.
In the meantime, a staff member of one of the commercial banks at the Choba axis of the East-West Road told our correspondent the bank will be open to customers this weekend to receive old notes. A bank staff also confirmed that other branches of the bank in the state have been running weekend operations in compliance with the CBN directive. As you may know, the CBN had in November 2022 instructed commercial banks in the country to work on Saturdays to the 31st January deadline to enable bank customers return the old Naira notes for new ones. Meanwhile, our correspondent observed that some bank ATMs at the Choba area of Port Harcourt were dispensing the new notes, whereas some others along the Rumokoro axis were not dispensing cash at all. And still on this, some Port Harcourt residents have been reacting to the rejection of the old Naira notes by some businesses before the deadline. On Thursday, an online video showed the moment customers protested over the refusal of a popular mall in Port Harcourt to accept the old Naira notes. Some customers of a popular supermarket along the Orderly Road axis told our correspondent the decision of the mall is expected.
I don't know why they are rejecting it. To me, they should at least be receiving it, because I know that the CBN, they will have to do something about it. At least let them extend the time for them to stop rejecting it. Some people, they say that you can only pay through transfer. Meanwhile, we still have our note with us.
It's actually expected because the bank would be rejecting the old Naira, and then the new Naira is not fully in circulation yet. Like when I was coming down here now, the tricycle I entered, he was almost rejecting the money. But I told him the new Naira is not in circulation, so there's nothing I can do.
Nobody is rejecting it. Time factors is what people are looking at. But as a businessman, once you know that the Naira note is going to be expire on so date, you know how to manage your business.
Some traders at the Rumosi and Choba market also spoke to our correspondent on this.
So when people bring to me, I don't reject it. I've never rejected any money from as far as it is still Nigeria currency. The last day, because in as much as we are concerned.
Some people are no longer collecting. For us here, some people, like people that are traveling, they are not taking old Naira. I'm doing POS operation now, but from Monday, no longer taking the money.
Some persons will come with the old Naira for me to exchange. Some people, they are also coming here too. Some of them will be like, they are not going to withdraw since it's not the new one. For me, I'm planning to go and change mine tomorrow.
Those customers, when they come sometimes, some of them will come, if we don't have new Naira notes, they will say they will want that new Naira notes. They will not do business at another place.
Also, some POS operators along the Rumekini and Uniport main gate share their experiences with customers.
For me, for now, I don't reject. My own will start on Saturday. So I'm going to bank on Monday to pay all the money that I have at home, both home and here. I'll pay in, then I will reject the money. Maybe till when CBN, maybe when they increase that, I can start collecting. If I start to leave it till Monday or that Tuesday, maybe that Tuesday, I will not be able to deposit the money in the bank. So I don't know what will happen. So that's for me now, to be in the safer side.
I saw there a notice they put that they won't collect old one from 28. So but for us, at least we will collect the old one till Monday. I will stop on Monday because anyone I collect on Monday, I'll have to go and put it in the bank on that Tuesday.
And moving on, it's 2 days to the deadline of the collection of permanent voters' cards, PVCs, and many Port Harcourt residents are yet to get theirs. And those who spoke to our correspondent urged INEC to still extend the deadline. Our correspondent visited the INEC office at Edigbolo and Aba Road.
Last week I came here, they told me come on Friday, being today. And I'm hearing that they are closing on Sunday. Some are saying Saturday. As for me, I will want them to extend the time so that at least the people that have not collected will also collect. When I came, they told me they have closed. I came after 3 and they told me they have closed.
My problem is that I came since I registered 2018. When I came for collection, they said I should go, that I should come later. So when I came, they said they've not started sharing, that they will make an announcement, and since then I've not heard any announcement. So today I came to collect it. They told me that they've not printed it out since 2018. I feel bad because it's not in my power to print it. The government is supposed to print for the people so that everybody will come out and vote.
Recorded INEC had previously said it would end the PVC collection on 22nd January, but extended it to 29th January. It also extended the PVC distribution at the ward level from 15th January to 22nd January, when the exercise will be taken back to the local government offices. And as the date for the general elections draws closer, some political stakeholders in Rivers State have shared their opinions on what may be heightening the electoral violence in the state. Now, they accuse the leading party in the state of being afraid of opposition. The chairman of Action Democratic Party, ADP, Christian Kendrick, says desperation is to blame for the current political violence.
We saw the desperation among these parties that are best referred to as big for nothing. There's a lot of desperation going on. We think River people are beginning to look inward than the outward look, not do what they've been doing before. They should change from what they've been doing for that, being partisan. We expect them to be apolitical. We had issues of our billboards being destroyed. When you send reports, they wave it, they pile under. And so our advice for them is to be apolitical. River people are expecting more from them. Nigerians are expecting more from them. This is the only time for them to correct the wrong they've done in the past election.
On his part, spokesperson of the African Democratic Congress, Luckyman Igila, told correspondent Soibi Uruwari that the opposition parties have braced up for the game and are no more bothered about the antics of the big parties.
It's no longer a hidden fact that it's scared of free and fair elections. So they are resorting to violence, bringing up different law strategies to ensure that other parties do not campaign. The opposition is being attacked every day that we go out for our campaign. The only thing we can do as responsible citizens of Rivers State is to advise whoever is involved that they should stop it. This political violence, this attack to opposition should stop henceforth. We are not violent victims. Rivers people are very, very reasonable, and they are also seeing what is actually playing out.
Also, the governorship candidate of Zenith Labour Party, Lee Kwane, said the innovation in the new electoral process will disappoint the perpetrators of electoral violence.
For me, don't have any fear, because what you see going on is a panic measure. I see so much of desperation at work. I have stated severally that right from the inception of this democracy, there has never been a proper election in Rivers State. But with the amended electoral act, vote we definitely can. So all that you see of the fear and to threaten the people so that they cannot all come out to vote.
At the meantime, civil rights activist Jackson Menazu said political violence is thriving because those behind the 2014 and 2015 political violence are moving freely in the state.
Those who perpetrated the 2014 and 2015 political violence in the state, walking the streets of Rivers State are that no one has been prosecuted, no one is in prison. That is what I'm holding them publicly and to go back to their violent position to life. The security agencies are not doing their best. No one has been prosecuted, no one has been arrested. All the names mentioned are all known names. They have not been prosecuted, they have not been prosecuted.
Meanwhile, INEC says it will conduct a mock accreditation exercise on the 4th of February. INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu says the exercise is to test the efficacy of the bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS ahead of the presidential and National Assembly elections on 25th February. The chairman of INEC disclosed this today in a meeting with all the 37 resident electoral commissioners in the country. And away from that, Senator Ademola Adeleke has rejected his sack as governor of Osun State by the Election Petitions Tribunal in the state. Senator Adeleke faulted the ruling, calling it an unfair interpretation against the will of the majority of the come and vowed to appeal the judgment at the Court of Appeal. Earlier today, an Election Petition Tribunal in Osun State sacked Adeleke following claims of overvoting in some polling units across the state. In the majority judgment, INEC was ordered to withdraw the certificate of return presented to Adeleke and issue it to the APC's Adegboyega Oyetola. And in other news, some senior secondary school students of Rumok Community Secondary School are concerned after they were informed that they have been delisted from writing the West African Examination Council exams, WAEC. The students who came to the Wazobia Info Complex to express their grievances said they were told that out of over 300 students expected to write the external examination, only about 100 students will sit for the exam. And they also said they were made to pay 2,000 naira to submit a form needed to register for WAEC. And when our correspondent visited the Rumok Community Secondary School around 12 p.m. today, the principal had just stepped out and was not available to give further details. But reacting to the complaints, the zonal coordinator for WAEC in Rivers State, Suleiman Kim, says it is not possible for the examination body to delist students. He said WAEC is only responsible for conducting the examinations. Still ahead, High Court in Port Harcourt sentences man to death by hanging. Do stay tuned. Nigeria Info. Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt has convicted and sentenced one Bestman Lekia, popularly known as Biggie, to death by hanging for the killing of 4 people and burning of buildings in a community in Kana local government area of the state. As you may know, Lekia and others now at large are reported to have killed Bodu Nubale, Etim Ekpe, Nelaribari Meba and Loveday Meba in Okwali community in Kana in 2019. Justice Adolphus Enebeli found Bestman Lekia guilty of murder, kidnapping, cultism and armed robbery. The State Prosecution Counsel, Chidi Eke, spoke to newsmen after the court judgment. Meanwhile, the Defense Counsel and Megwari declined to comment.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
U.S. forces have killed an Islamic State leader, Bilal al-Sudani, and 10 of his operatives in northern Somalia. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he was killed after U.S. Special Forces raided a remote mountainous cave complex hoping to capture him. Al-Sudani was responsible for fostering the growing presence of ISIS in Africa. And that's it on the news this evening. You heard banks in Port Harcourt have seen a large turnout of customers as deadline for the use of old narrow notes nears. Now, political stakeholders in Rivers State have shared their opinions on the cause of political violence in the state. INEC to conduct mock accreditation before elections. And the High Court has sentenced Bestman Lekia to death by hanging for killing 4 people in Rivers State. And the foreign scene, U.S. forces have killed an Islamic State leader, Bilal al-Sudani. And that was the news as edited by Constance Mega. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this evening. Remember to collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. Thanks for listening. I'm Adedayo Ilushakin. Good evening.